So good morning and welcome you all to this seminar. I was actually listening very intently to our research teams and really I am not that expert. First let me submit. I am not expert in this subject at all. But I can tell you that I am a voracious reader. I read a lot and I accumulate many things and I need some place to dump it, and that's why I have selected this is my dumping ground. So today I will be dumping you with a few data. This is not mine at all. So that data you are the person to judge about that. I just present the data. The first thing I was looking very intently at what Dean sir was presenting, and there are very important words into that presentation. I could not pick up everything, obviously, but I picked up few. I should mention that HPV there is no viremia. There is a very important point to note. There is no viremia and there is no cytokine release. So that means there will not be any biomolecule through which you will be able to detect that this patient is having HPV vaccine, HPV infection, and also this is a marker of protection. Another very important is intracellular organism. They do not affect outside the cell. In most of the cells, what we see after any infection, be it a virus or bacteria, any pathogenic organism, it leads to cell destruction. But what happens here? There is no cell destruction as cell. So rather what happens? The contrary happens. There is cell growth. Instead of destruction, there is more growth of the cell leading to proliferation, and rather it is a few of them they clear up due to T cell effect. They clear up, and most of them, those who develop the disease, actually around 10 to 15% of the total infected population, what they do, the cells undergo more and more growth, ultimately leading to unregulated growth. That is cancer. So that is simply how HPV works, leading to cervical cancer. If I am not wrong, sir. Sir, you wanted to mean this. So today in this Toastmanga Mela, I am presenting this topic. Actually, this is I presented in MEO few days back, and due to some reason or other, I am presenting that once again. There is very little, if at all, change into that. To many of you, maybe it will look like a mere repetition. So all this data has been collected, very current data that I can assure you, collected from ACIP recommendation on HPV vaccine in June 2022, less than a year, and this is last SAGE guideline on HPV vaccine that came in April 2022, and last HPV vaccine WHO position paper that came on 16th December, less than a month from now. So what was our objective was to update about the single dose. Basic thing is that here I can tell you most of them probably have seen that advertisement of Sachin Tendulkar on thumbs up. Ye dil mange more. So when we started vaccinating with 3 doses, due to some reason there is a break in the vaccination. So we found data of 2 doses. Then we thought, oh, why not 1 dose? So that is the basis of this presentation. So how we can reduce the dosage review, so how we can make the vaccine more cost effective. When it is so much effective, otherwise so far disease spectrum is concerned. The background data of 3 dose, then 2 dose would be same. I'll just 1 or 2 slides on that, and then all present evidences. So this is the study when we start our journey. Initial vaccination started with 16 to 26-year age group in girls only, and that was given as a 3-dose schedule because at that time bivalent, I mean Cervarix was there in the fora. So it was second dose was given either 1 month or 2 months later, because we know other than bivalent, all are given, second dose is given at 2 months later, after 2 months of the first dose. So that means 0, 1 or 2 is given, and third dose is given in 6 months. So that was the initial strategy. Then trial endpoint was cervical precancerous lesion. There are other trial endpoints also. So for cervix is concerned, it is the cervicin. Others were in the vagina, it is the VIN. In oropharyngeal also. So when the precancerous lesion approach that stage, it is taken as the endpoint of efficacy study. Now, what we saw with a 3-dose schedule is there was an efficacy of close to 96%. But as it happens everywhere like India, all do not comply all the time. So what happens? Few of the subjects, they stop taking the third dose and few stop taking the second dose. So we are left with 3 cohort of vaccinated people, one with a single dose, one with 2 dose, and one with complete third dose. To our astonishment, what was found that would be presented here. And immunobridging trial at 9 to 15 years. Immunobridging trial at 9 to 15 years. What do you mean by immunobridging? Because it is purely and completely unethical to allow a person to develop HPV infection and see how they are developing the cancer and how they are dying. So what we can do, we have seen the immunogenicity or the antibody level of those patients, those subjects who were given vaccine in those age group, that is 9 to 15 year age group, because that was not studied up to that time. The lowest stage was taken as 16 years. So their antibody level was compared with that is at the 16 to 26 years age group. So if it is suppose antibody level of 70, whatever may be the unit, is you get an efficacy of 70%. So here also we get efficacy of 70%. So without doing any efficacy study, we are interpreting that it is efficacious like this. So that is called immunobridging study. We are bridging the immune cohort into here. That is, we are extrapolating the same data over here based on antibody level only. So this was the 2-dose schedule of persons 9 to 14 years. In immunobridging trial, what was seen, surprisingly, 2-dose was equally immunogenic as 3-dose. That was the summary. This is the first step. India has got a lot to play with this here also. I will come later. And this is a 9-valent study. That was a bivalent study. That is a bivalent study. And this is a 9-valent. What we see, to our surprise, though it is not statistically significant, but antibody response is better at 9 to 15 year age group as compared to 16 to 26. Though it is not statistically significant, you follow the green bars, with the girls 0 to 6, 0 and 6 months 2-dose schedule as compared to 0 to 6. So their antibody fold, you see lower, the bold lines is the antibody fold, 2.15%, and lowest is probably 1.6 times, not percent, sorry, times. Antibody level is higher in 2-dose schedule as compared to 3-dose schedule. So 2-dose schedule appeared to be more efficacious or at least non-inferior as compared to our standard 16 to 26 schedule. So again 4 valent. So we had 3 vaccines. Yeah, I am showing you three trials. One is bivalent, one is nonavalent, that was the current vaccine, and this is a four-valent vaccine that is of standardized use now. In four-valent vaccine, we see we have given in three cohorts. Please just follow the color codes. 2 dose 0 to 6 months at 9 to 13 year age group, and rest of 3 doses in 9 to 13 years and 16 to 26 years. What was seen, antibody level was non-inferior in all the age groups and kinetics of antibody persistence. That is very important. Kinetics of antibody persistence is also similar. That is, there is no downgoing of the antibody level in long term, even with a single dose. So, based on this study, what ACIP did? ACIP recommended 2-dose schedule in 9 to 15 years. So now again started, then can we go for 1 dose? When we have come down from 3 dose to 2 dose, can you come down to 1 dose? I think this one is redundant. I am audible. Okay, fine. So now what we see in 1 dose HPV vaccination, efficacy trial were needed. So let us see what we have done. So this was an Ecuador Costa Rica trial that is still continuing. We expect the results to come in 2024 only. Trial has started in 2022. So 1 dose versus 2 dose of bivalent and nonavalent vaccine. So, and few were not given any vaccine, though it is not ethical. They are followed up because they are not given vaccine, and their cervical cancer incidence pattern in different age group was assessed. That's why it is called epidemiological survey of unvaccinated women. And HPV infection status in month 6, and HPV vaccine was given after that. And here is the interventional group. This is the interventional group, and that's the epidemiological group. In the intervention group, what we did find in 12 to 16 year age group, 20,000, more than 20,000 subjects were chosen. They are equally divided into bivalent and nonavalent, and given 2 doses of 0 to 6 months, and see the result. And follow-up was done at every 6 months, that is month 12, 18, 24, like this, and up to 60 months is the planning, and how it is surveyed by cervical cell smear, urine examination, and this because you know recently, currently cervical HPV infection is getting diagnosed with urine examination also with antigen. So meanwhile, 1 dose is why it is so important, because HPV vaccine is costly. Second was HPV vaccine production is low. So demand versus supply mismatch is always there. So that's why we try to get additional studies to validate our quest to use 1 dose. So these are the different trials. That's the Costa Rica trial. In India, we did had one, fortunately or unfortunately, one landmark trial of this International Agency of Research Against Cancer. This was a multi-centric trial. One of the center was AIIMS New Delhi. I had fortunate to talk with a person who did the study, Madam Bhalla, who is the HOD of Gynae Obstetrics there. Then there is a KNC study was done in Kenya with the different vaccines in everywhere. In India it was a 4-valent vaccine, this was a bivalent. Here bivalent and 9-valent was compared like this in different age groups also. In Thailand, impact study was done, and this is the dose reduction in and immunogenicity and safety study. This is called DORIS study in Tanzania. So Costa Rica vaccine trial, 1, 2 or 3 doses. To our surprise, what we did find, see with the 3 dose we got an efficacy of 80%, and with the single dose efficacy of this 82% in age group of 18 to 25 years. So with a single dose, it appears to be more efficacious but it is not statistically significant, so it is called non-inferior. And this is the antibody kinetics with the 3 dose, 2 dose and 1 dose. Upper one is the for 3 dose, though it is at a higher level. So that means antibody GMC is higher with the 3 dose as compared to 2 dose and lower with the single dose. That's a blue line. But if you compare the natural immunity, it is here. The gap is more than 10-fold. And really we don't know till now what is the immune correlate of protection of HPV, because it does not invade the bloodstream and do not produce biomolecules. And this is an Indian study was started as a part of study protocol of Merck company, and this was started in 2009. That was I was talking of the multicentric study. With the 2 dose and 3 dose of 4-valent vaccine was started. But unfortunately, within 1 year, there was one unfortunate death in Haryana, and for that there was a massive hue and cry in the media, and following that the government of India banned the study, stopped the study altogether. So instead of an interventional study, what was done, they converted that into an epidemiological study. How? Because at the point of the stoppage, suspension, at the point of suspension of the study, at that time we are left with again few subjects with a single dose. They have received single dose, few got 2 doses and few got 3 doses. So we have got 3 vaccine cohorts here, and they were followed up for a period of more than 10 years. And this was the initial study published by Dr. Shankar Narayana in Lancet 2016. And this is the last result after 10 years, and this is published by Partho Basu. This is in 2021 last December, just 1 year back, and it's a very such gentle person like our dean sir. I have talked to him several times, sir is also known to him. So what we did find that is more important here rather than those things is that 1 dose see 94% efficacy as compared to 91% efficacy with the 3 dose vaccine. Thank you. Now, thank you. After that, we will so what did we see that after 10 years efficacy is, if we don't say it is better, we can definitely say it is not inferior. So it is giving the similar results. So persistence beyond 10 years means that the antibody level is, that is immune response is persisting. So it is not dipping down with a single dose in confirmation of our fear. So it is not dipping down at all. It is persisting. This is the KENSI trial with a 9-valent and 2-valent HPV and MCV, that is a meningococcal vaccine. It acted as a control group, and more than 2,000 children were, or rather women were studied in 15 to 20 years age group, and endpoint was taken at month 18, that is 1.5 years. With they studied 16 and 18 serotypes, and here is the result. 97.5, 97.5, both bivalent and nonavalent with a single dose, and this is the control. So, and this one is more important here. When you compare meningococcal vaccine control with the nonavalent vaccine, it is coming to almost 90% zero efficacy. So single dose, all these are coming with a single dose in the Kenyan study. And you can see, so this was published in November 2022. And this is a DORI study I was talking of. This is a dose reduction, immunobridging and safety study. This was done with a single 2 and 3 dosage of again bivalent and monovalent vaccine, and done in Tanzania in 19 to 14 year age group, and almost 1000 children were studied here. Again, it demonstrated at the age of 24 months non-inferiority of the immune response here and efficacy. Now, this is the DORI's trial detail. We see it is 1 dose, 2 dose and 3 dose. As you can see, HPV 16 and 18 seropositivity with the 1 dose, 2 dose and 3 dose. It is non-inferior and all are close to 100%. 99, 98 to 100%. And this is for nonavalent data. This is a nonavalent data. Again, same 99 to 100%. This is very, very impressive. So, if you follow the antibody kinetics here, in the HPV 16 and HPV 18 serotype, as I was told, out of 200 serotypes, only 13 are pathogenic. Till date, what we have found. Of this most common, 70% occurs in 16 and 18 only. So that's why we are concentrating on 16 and 18. In 16, the upper one is for bivalent vaccine, which is not available in India right now. So you can erase that one, go for the lower graph. That is available there. So, what is saying Gardasil 9? That's a nonavalent vaccine. So this is the this is the blue line, that's a single dose antibody level. It is persisting and there is no evidence of breaking down. That is most important, and even after that. So DORI's trial, again, that is important. In avidity, we use that is antibody avidity more. Sir, you use avidity everywhere, I know. But in vaccinology, we use avidity more often, particularly for typhoid vaccine and antibody level in typhoid, because typhoid is a disease which is called inoculum-based disease. And even after proper vaccination and good antibody response, the patient may get typhoid. That doesn't indicate that the patient is immunosuppressed. If you give more and more bacterial load, patient will develop disease in spite of having antibody. So there comes the importance of avidity. Avidity means the functional ability of the antibody to interact with the antigen. So functional ability in typhoid, in our vaccinology seminars, we always find those vaccines which gives ability more than 60%. Below 60% we don't accept at all. We reject those vaccines. So it's no difference between the dose groups in ability also. And immunobridging also shows non-inferiority. So across the age group, approved age group till date, from 9 to 15 years, it is giving the same result here. This is Thailand study, this was Thailand impact study. Two similar areas were chosen in Thailand. They were given the vaccine and they were followed up. So this is the two areas. One is the Udon Thani 1 dose and Buriram area where 2 doses were given. And they were followed up to see what is the effect. And again, the ultimate summary of effect is the same. After a period of 4 years post-vaccination. So, what is this important now message is that 1 dose, 2 dose or 3 dose it do not count. What is more important is achieving higher coverage. The WHO representative who also counsels on this, say bring more coverage in HPV in respect to the HPV, whether it is you are giving gender neutral pattern or you are following the females only, is also important when the vaccine coverage is less. The study and mathematical models have clearly shown when the vaccine coverage is less than 80%, their gender neutral vaccination is more effective. But when the vaccination coverage is more than 80%, this benefit goes off and vaccinating females only becomes more effective and cost effectiveness of gender neutral vaccine goes down. So there only female vaccination is more effective if the coverage is more because it gives a hard effect. So on the basis of the recent data on efficacy and effectiveness, SAGE has endorsed optimizing HPV vaccine schedule. I will show the table just next to that slide. A 9 to 14 year age group in NIP. Very clear. This is a very clear message till now. Whatever data we are having and whatever guidelines we are having worldwide, not India, worldwide, this is the guideline for NIP only, National Immunization Program. When you are talking of community, not in your office practice. In your office practice, standard guideline still holds. But in the National Immunization Program, you can use either a single dose or 2-dose schedule with an interval of at least 6 months when you are using a 2-dose schedule. And this is an off-label option. What is off-label use? Because what you get in manufacturer's label, this printed sheet, so that is on label. Like in India, in National Immunization Program, now we are giving rotavirus vaccine till 1 year. You cannot use that in your office. This is off-label use because if there is any mishap happens, legal liability will rest upon you. The company will set off its responsibility. The government can pick up that. This is called off-label use. So this is an off-label use because in the manufacturers do not recommend this schedule till now. So this off-label option for routine multi-age cohort catch-up vaccination is recommended for public health perspective. This is WHO guideline. This is a public health perspective only. On the basis of providing comparable level of individual protection while being more cost effective and efficient. This is what WHO says. Now, what is the inside of this? This is the inside. What was there initially? This was there initially. 9 to 14 year, 2 dose, and above 15 year, 3 dose schedule. Immunocompromised, 3 dose schedule. This was up to previous guideline. What is the 2022 says recommendation and WHO guideline says? Girls 9 to 14 years, they can be given either a single dose or 2 dose can be used based on your discussion. Again, 15 to 20 years, this is second age group. That's a multi-age cohort. There is a second age cohort. Either a single or 2 dose schedule. And more than 21 years, still now, you have to give 2 dose schedule. You can skip 3 dose schedule here. And in immunocompromised, there is no evidence till now worldwide of efficacy of single dose vaccine in immunocompromised. So you have to give at least 2 doses or if possible 3 doses. So that's what is the summary. These are the future trials. Reports are awaited. Trials are continuing worldwide till impact and effectiveness in South Africa. There is a HANDS trial in Gambia and Escudo trial which will come in 24. I showed in Costa Rica. And so this is the summary. So HPV vaccine was studied and licensed as a 3-dose schedule, that's known. Now data on 1-dose vaccine is coming up. Long-term follow-up data are available till 10 years in Indian trial. SAGE recommends 1 or 2 dose as primary target group, who has revised the recommendation in December 2022. No regulatory approval for 1-dose HPV vaccine in any age group. This is very important. There is no regulatory approval till now. That's an off-label use only. HPV, okay, fine. So up to 14 years. That's fine. And thank you very much. We had a study. We have got a published paper also on this. That the patients that are affected, those are not affected as a separate group. those are affected. What is the pattern of affection there? It has been seen 70% are affected with a single cell, and rest 30% are affected between 2 to 4 serotypes. More than 5 serotype affection is very rare. It is not seen. In that paper, it has been seen up to 4 serotypes. Now, 70%, again I repeat, 70% is affected with a single serotype. If you give 4-valent vaccine, you are having 4 serotypes. So, the patient who is affected with a single serotype, vaccine will not be effective for that person, for that serotype only. But it will be protective for the other serotypes. So that's why CDC had said after 27 years, 27 to 45 years, you should give the vaccine after discussing mutually with the receiver who wants to take the vaccine. That is what is called the vaccination on mutual consent. The doctor is consenting to give the vaccine, and the person who will receive is also consenting to receive the vaccine.